Oh, need some emotion here? Ah, here's a bucket. There we go.
In 1972, Peter Lord co-founded what would become one of, if not the most famous homegrown studio in Britain, Aardman Animation. From their home base in Bristol, they've given plasticine life, shaped childhoods and won Oscars. But it is not easy work. It's taken over 5 years for their latest film, Early Man, to come to life. And Peter has allowed us to get our fingers and fingerprints all over those very delicate models.
This guy is Doug.
Hello, Doug.
Doug the Caveman.
What do you make the hair? I'm going to give it back because I cannot be trusted with that. What do you make the hair out of?
It's kind of like fun fur is what it is, but it's got in it some. Let's see this. If you see, it's got some wire in it. So.
Oh, so you can control it.
So you can control it.
The age of stone is over, do you know? Long live the age of bronze.
When was that moment when you first realised that you could animate, you could bring something to life and it had personality and it had heart? Was there a moment when you realised, oh wow, we can create characters that feel alive in front of you?
Yeah, that is actually a good question. That's a good question because that is the most important thing, isn't it? Character is the thing that you're reaching for. The first discovery was that you could animate clay at all because that wasn't obvious. We didn't really know that and we had to find it out for ourselves. And there was a period in the 70s when we believed, as far as we knew, we were the only people on Earth that were doing it. I've since learned we weren't, but at the time we thought we were.
But where are those people now?
Yeah, exactly. And then after about 5 years, really, we landed on this morph who was made of clay, it was about that big. And with him, through telling stories, we found character. But once you had him and you put him in a situation, what does Morph do if it's very cold? What does Morph do when the other guy has stolen his cake? You found the character through action. And I will say, just to blow my own trumpet, that with Morph, if you turn the sound down, you could see by the look on his face, the shape of his body and the things he was doing, you could see what he was thinking. That was the great thing. That was the great big breakthrough moment, actually.
With Wallace and Gromit, was there a moment when you realised that they had become icons?
Yeah. So the actor, Peter Sellers, the guy that did the Wallace voice.
Sorry, Gromit!
15 years ago, we were with him when they opened a cartoon art gallery in London. And he was there, the star guest, of course, and he didn't do a speech like that. That became boring. His party piece was just to do...
did he do the voice?
He did the voice. He did 10 lines. Wallace's best 10 lines. Oh, that went as well as can be expected. and cracking toast, Gromit, and these things. Absolutely brought the house down. I thought, wow, that is the best, cheapest act ever. The audience loved him, and he didn't have to do anything. Just read out his lines.
So there's an interesting thing I heard you say in an interview a couple of years ago that Aardman sort of struggled to crack certain aspects of the American market.
Yeah.
What is it you think about what you do that doesn't work there?
I do not know. What's wrong with these people?
I don't know.
I don't know. No, seriously, I'm arrogant enough to think it's nothing is what we do.
It's not me, it's you.
Not me, it's you. It's exactly. I do think. Yeah, that's how I think.
Let's go with that.
I think that we tell really good stories cleverly, charmingly, and I think that we generate more genuine emotion than most of the Hollywood movies, where I think they sort of...
Is that you throwing the gauntlet down to Pixar there?
Yeah, well, no, they're pretty good. They're pretty good at emotion, I must say. But most of them, they sort of turn it on like a tap. Oh, you need some emotion here? Ah, here's a bucket. There we go. I think a lot of American animation, not the best, but a lot of it's quite cynical in that sense.
What's the biggest change you've seen in audiences, in terms of what audiences will accept from animation?
Toy Story was magnificent and stood alone. But then when you started to get into sort of Shrek and Ice Age territory, they're good, but this mass production, I find slightly dismaying. I think that it's like they found the formula. That's how it seemed to me. They found the formula. This many fart jokes, wild close-ups, bright colours, just keeps throwing it at the audience, and they'll be happy. And they kind of are, which rather annoys me. There are those films that you can buy the component parts off a shelf and just pour them in, and you'll get a good movie.
So how do you know when your movie's good?
Ooh, I never. That's a tricky question. I don't know when you know that. When enough people have told you, you might start to believe it. It takes a long time, actually, I think.
What's the most misunderstood thing about claymation?
I think the common misconception, they think that it's like some ordeal. Because they say, oh God, that must drive you crazy. God, you must be so patient. That's what people think, but it's not at all.
Isn't it? Because it's very meticulous and fiddly.
Yeah, it is meticulous and fiddly. But I mean, honestly, those animators that are doing Early Man today, not one of them goes in the morning and thinks, oh God, and I've got to get through this. They might think, this one is so difficult. How am I going to do this? But so they've got to be as imaginative and ingenious and creative as they can be to make it work.
Do you still get your hands dirty?
Not much, actually, no. It's not really dirty.
Do you miss it?
No.
No? You can say no. No is an acceptable answer.
I don't miss it, but I will say that if I have a plan, which I don't, it doesn't involve retirement, but it does involve just sneaking away to a quiet corner of the studio. Give me 6 months and just to make something of my own. That would be a very nice, chilled thing to do. And don't contact me about all the other stuff. Leave me alone just to do that.
Does your bank manager know that you have such a cavalier attitude to running a business?
No. He'll never know. He won't. I have a great fondness for that time when all they have to do is just perform, just animate. That's all they've got to do.
I just love when you retire, there's like, where's Peter? Oh, he's in the Play-Doh corner playing with his
That's
clay.
right. Yeah, and I'll be there with the radio on, a cup of tea, pint of beer.
Peter, thank you so much.
Great pleasure.
And good luck with your plasticine corner retirement plan.
Yes, that's where you'll find me.
Lovely to meet you. Thanks so much.
Okay.